Hope you guys are doing good today. On this video, I'm going to show you how to handle the customer's credit payments or debt payments and how to deal with the debt customers, how to maintain the records and stuff like that. Alright, so let's go and log into the Saleculator using the administrator password 1111. Okay, so we're on the sales screen, as you guys already know that. Now, first of all, let's see what is a debt sales. Okay, we do a debt sale or a credit sale when we're gonna sell certain products for certain customers on credit, right? So, what are the scenarios we come across, resulting in a debt sales? There are three important reasons why we end up in selling products on credit. The first and foremost reason is certain business accept the credit payment from their employees because they depend on their salaries. That's one of the scenario. Second scenario is when a customer forgets his wallet. All right, it's a rare scenario conditions. It doesn't happen all the time. And the last scenario might be like, the customer have a certain amount that is, for certain transaction, he would have only half of the amount to pay and rest of the amount he will be taking it for credit. These are the majority of scenarios we come across for resulting in credit sales or a debt sales. Now, first and important stuff for, doing a debt sale is that you need to select a customer first of all. Okay, without choosing a customer, you cannot even initiate a debt, sales. So let's see how to create a customer. There are different scenarios or methods you can create a customer on Saleculator. Let me get you the first and foremost, the primary method to create the customer. Click on the main menu. You can click on this customers under administration. Now you can see a button on the top left which shows customers. Click on this customers button, and when you are inside the customers screen, just go ahead and click on the search key. Maybe you can assign a serial number to keep a track of the customers. So I'm going to assign number 1 and update the name of the customer, maybe Tom, and then click on the plus icon. Now before we do that, here on the screen you can see something called maximum debt. Now the setting up of maximum debt is an important part. Without setting up a debt maximum limit, you cannot perform a debt sale transaction. Okay, so for example, now I'm going to create a maximum debt of 1,000 for this customer and click on the plus icon so that this customer gets added to this list here on the left hand side. Now, right now the list is empty, so just click plus and you can see here Tom got added to the list of customers. Now let's create another customer with serial number 2. Serial number 2. Name, maybe Yusuf. And the maximum debt is gonna be 1,000 for Yusuf as well. And let's click on the plus icon. There you go. So we created Tom and Yusuf with a maximum of 1,000 as the debt for their transaction. Okay, so these are for examples, we have 2 different customers. Now let's go back to the sales screen, perform a sale where we have to execute a debt sale transaction. Now let's choose the customer. For example, just click on the search. Say for example Tom came in today and he bought certain products. Okay, all right, and we clicked on the is equal to, so it's gonna get you the payment screen. Now Tom bought the products for almost 86.40 bucks. Okay, Now you got to click on the debt. Now you should click on this debt tab. For example, Sam, let's say Sam has forgotten his wallet. So we're going to make a sale, complete debt sale on this scenario for him. So just click on debt. So we already set up 1,000 maximum debt. So when I click OK, the 8640 is getting deducted from the maximum debt. Okay, so that will be saved under Tom's records. Okay, so that is one of the process. Just click OK. All right, now we're done with that. Let's go ahead and check on the bill or ticket how it looks like. So go back and you can maybe you can go to edit sales, click search for the transaction period, execute. Now you can see there are two bills, so maybe this is the bill number 2 that we did for Tom. Just click OK. Now you can see this is the bill. This is how the bill will be displayed on your screen under this edit sales button. And just coming down here, you could see the debt. The ticket shows the 8640 payment as a debt instead of a payment. So this is how a debt ticket looks like. So you can easily find out whether it's a payment or debt. Okay, so this is a customer. The customer's name will be displayed here and the receipt number. Now let's get back to the another scenario. So we have seen how to create a customer in an elaborate method. Okay, we went to the customers button, clicked on this, and we created the customer from this customer screen. Now this is the elaborate method. Now there is another method where you can it's a quick process to add the maximum debt for any number of customers you're gonna create. For example, if let's say a customer comes in all of a sudden to the shop and he buys certain products, and you click on is equal to, and now he says that he don't have the money or forgot the wallet, or maybe he's an employee. So what happens is, like, we can click on the debt, and so you should have noticed that I haven't chosen the customer from this button over here on the left side. Rather, we can choose or create a customer from this icon opposite to the name field on the payment screen. Okay, so when I clicked on debt, and I can choose a customer or create a customer. For example, the customer is a new customer, so I'm going to create a customer, maybe Jack, and we can click on save. It will create a customer Jack here, and click OK. Okay, now we got Jack updated on the payment screen, but unfortunately I cannot click on OK. If you could see, the OK button is grayed out, it's not activated. You know the reason why it is not active? Because we haven't set up the maximum debt. If the OK button will get activated only when the maximum debt is already set up. Now this method, we cannot create a maximum debt. To create a maximum debt, we have to go the other conventional method, as I told you before, the elaborate method. But there is another scenario. It's a simple and process and a quick method to create a maximum debt for every time you create a customer. Okay, so that is by executing an SQL script. Okay, we can execute an SQL script so that every time you create a customer, no matter where you're going to create the customer from, that customer will get a minimum debt that is going to be assigned by the program. Now that's a simple process. I'll explain you how to do that. Just click on this menu, go to the maintenance, and you can see something like execute SQL. You got to click on this one, on this key. So what we're going to do is we're going to predetermine, or we're going to pre-assign, or by default, certain amount that gets assigned to every customer that we're going to create in the later stages. Okay, so this will be the amount that is going to be mapped onto the customers who whatever we're going to create henceforth. So click on execute SQL. Now you can copy paste the SQL script on this block here and click on display icon, so that will get saved. Okay, now let me show you what is this code to create the maximum depth for all the customer. Okay, all right guys, now as you could see on this screen here, this is the script to add the maximum depth by default, so that every time you create a customer, this will be the total amount that will be assigned automatically for that particular customer. So this is the script that you might want to make a note of. This script, it shows alter table. Now you make sure that you give a space in between each words. Customers space modify column space max depth space double space default space whatever the amount you're gonna set. I have taken as 1000 as maximum depth and then column. All right, now you click on this play button here. Okay, so that shows update count 0. So we are all set. Let's go ahead and close this. Now let's check and see how the default 1000 is gonna get added to a new customer when we create in the middle of a transaction. Say, as I told you, a certain unexpected customer comes in. So we are going to make the sale under different categories, maybe, yeah. And then I'm gonna click on is equal to, so the customer says he forgot the wallet, unfortunately. So we can click on depth and we can create the customer here right on the payment screen. So I'm gonna create a customer maybe with customer number 4 and name as William, and click on save. All right, William got updated here, click OK. Now if you could see here, the moment I clicked OK, once I created William, you can see the maximum depth is also getting updated automatically as 1000. So this is a simple quick method. Once you have executed the script on the MySQL that will get updated automatically. So this is an easy method for you. So you can click OK, so William's payment gets updated on credit. Okay, that's one of the scenario. Now let's try and create a customer from the sales screen. Maybe serial number 5, Tim, save, click OK. So we can do a transaction after creating a customer from the sales screen, and then is equal to, and we're gonna sell this on depth. You see here, so this one is also showing us a maximum depth 1000 by default. As you can see, I haven't created a maximum depth. I just created the customer profile. So the maximum depth gets added automatically because we already executed the script on MySQL script. Okay, so whether you create the customer from here or you create a customer from right from the sales screen or from the payment screen, it will get updated automatically if the script is already run. Okay, so you click OK, so Tim's account get updated for the depth. Okay, now for example, there's another scenario where the customer comes in, he don't have a total amount to make the payment. So let's see, choose this. So we have a total transaction amount of 120 bucks. Click on is equal to. Now the customer says he don't have that much money. He only have 60 bucks. All right, for example. So what we can do is on the payment screen, on the cash tab, you can enter this 60 bucks, whatever the customer is gonna pay. Click plus on the icon here, so that will be added here, and then come down to the depth. You gotta create the customer, maybe serial number 6, customer Imran, and let's click save, click OK. Alright, so Imran have paid 60 and the balance 60 is gonna take the product for depth. So this 60 is gonna be debited from, or deducted from his maximum depth of 1000. and click OK. So let's go back and see how Imran's the bill looks like, right? So just go ahead, click on the main menu, maybe go to the settlement. So you can see Imran's bill of 120 here. Click here, just give one click or press once and then click on show receipt. As you can see here, this is the receipt or ticket for Imran, and on bottom of the receipt you could see the cash payment 60 and there's a debt of 60, so that's 120 total. So in this manner you can check on the ticket and see what are the payment made for a particular transaction. Okay, click OK. Now let's go back to the sales. Now just go ahead and click on the main button here and go to the customers button, and you can see the customers here. You can also click on the customer, execute the report, and you could see the reports here, right here. This will be the name of the customer and the ticket number. Okay, so it doesn't show that Yusuf doesn't make any debt purchase, and Tom did make a purchase on debt. And there's another method. You can go back to customer and click on customers defaulting, execute. It will show you all those current debts. So this customer defaulting will only show the current pending debts for different customers. It shows Tom still have 86.40 that he yet to pay, William is yet to pay, and Tim is 62.40. These are the total, and it shows the total debt that is still that we need to collect from the customer. So that you can view under the customer defaulting. And coming back to the customers, you click on customers diary. You can go by individual customer. Maybe you can search by specific customers. For example, maybe you can click on this customer here, search for William, maybe one customer, click OK and execute. So it will bring up William's debt information specifically for this customer. So in this way you can filter out what are the customer you want to view under this customer diary, the customer's diary. And also there's a customer's debt button. You click here, you can also execute a specific customer search. If it's not the case, you can go and click on execute report. So under customer's diary you could get all those details on the customers. Okay, so it shows these are the debt payments so far, so there's no payment made yet. If there was any payment made, it will also list under this payment. It will show payment instead of debt. Okay, so say for example we'll take Imran for example, ticket number 5. We'll try to make a settlement on Imran's ticket and see how it's gonna change under customer's diary. Let's say customer Imran want to make a credit payment. He want to settle the credit. So maybe we can go back to the settlement and you can choose. So you can click once and click on the settle button, and you could see that you can make a settlement here. So as we know that 60 was already paid. 60 was the only debt left, and 60 was paid out of this 120. So Imran is left with 60 that in order to clear his debt. So let's say he's gonna pay the amount in cash, right? Maybe 50 and 10. So he's gonna pay this 60 as a cash payment against his previous pending debt, and then click OK. So that will clear off Imran's debt. Now let's go back to the customer's report. So click on customer diary, execute, and it shows, it does reflect Imran, but it shows payment as cash, meaning Imran has made the payment of that pending debt or credit. Whereas in Tim, it shows the payment as debt, for total payment is debt. So initially we had Imran's 60 as a debt, cash, and the 60 as debt because he paid half of the amount. Now it shows cash on both the split. Now we have under Tom we have cash for ticket number 1, he paid it, but unfortunately for ticket number 2 he made it on credit. Okay, he purchased the product for credit for ticket number 2. And also for William, ticket number 3, he purchased the product on debt. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how to make some other methods of payment, like if the customer comes back and he makes different methods of payment. We'll just go to make a note of the ticket number. For example, if customer William comes back and you want to make a payment of his debt, so ticket number 3, let's go to the edit sales, search, and you can put the number 3 here on receipt and execute. It'll bring up this bill. Click OK. Now you could see this is the bill for William, total of 86.40, and he purchased it on debt. So we just have to click on edit, click on is equal to. It's gonna bring up the payment screen, and imagine if William paid it on cash or maybe on card. Just click on OK. If it's gonna make a payment on card, then we can just go ahead and click OK, because OK, you can see the button is activated. That means it's going to accept the payment now. So click OK. That's it. Now you just search again, click on 3, execute. Now let's see how the bill looks like now. Okay, so it shows, you can see initially it shows debt. Now instead of debt, it shows the card payment. So that means this payment was settled by William. All right, and it'll show you the date of settlement and the time as well. So that's one method of settling the debts by the customer. And there's another method here. Let's go back to the customers and see, pull up the customer debts, execute. So under the customer debt, all we have is only 2 customers we're left with. So we have Tim and Tom, who still have a debt with us. Okay, so it's ticket number 4 for Tim and ticket number 2 for Tom. Okay, let's go ahead and see another payment method, or another method of settling the debts by the customer. If in case the customer comes up and pays a bulk amount, maybe there might be customer who bought the products for a number of times. For example, let's choose a customer, Tim. Tim comes up and buys certain products and for debt again. Okay, now Tim comes again on another day. All right, and he buys some other products on some other day for debt itself. Click OK. All right, so when you go to the customer's report, when you click on customer debt and execute it, it's going to show all these transactions under Tim. All those transactions shows these are transactions that will be listed by the ticket numbers, and it will show you the total amount for all those tickets together. Now imagine if Tim comes up and he's gonna pay the total together. He don't want to pay each ticket. Instead, he wants to pay the entire debt, whatever, on his account. So what he can do, you can go to this payments button here, click on payment, click on customer, choose Tim, search and just pull up Tim here. Okay, now when you pull up Tim, it's gonna get you the total debt amount that is pending for Tim. Okay, so for the Tim we have total amount of 189.60. It's not gonna split by the tickets or the receipts. It'll show you the total amount. Now you click on pay debt. Now that's gonna make a complete settlement of the total debt for the particular customer Tim. All right, so for example, he's gonna pay the cash of 189.60. He paid the total amount. It doesn't matter about the different receipts. So you just click on OK after accepting the payment. So this will turn to 0. That means the current debt for Tim is zeroed out, is cleared off. Okay, so let's go back to the customers debts, execute. Now you could see how the report changed. Now under Tim, it shows under payment debt paid, and the total debt paid is 189.60 on single transaction, and the current debt is 0 for Tim. Now let's see another scenario where Tom wants to make half of the settlement for his debt of 162. Say for example, maybe he wants to settle $100 of the 162 now, and he will pay the 62 balance afterwards. So how to proceed on this transaction? Let's see. So we have a total debt of 162 for Tom under customer's diary. So how to do that? Let's go back to the edit sales. Make a note of the ticket number. Click on edit sales. Click search. Enter the ticket number. Execute it. It's gonna pull up the ticket. Click OK. So on this ticket, you could see the total amount is 162. He purchased all those products for 162, and that is for debt. So say Tom wants to make a payment of 100 now for his earlier purchase. So let's click on edit. Click on is equal to. Now click on the cash tab. Imagine Tom is making a payment by cash. So let's say 100 in cash. Click on the plus icon here. So it'll reflect the balance now. Before clicking on OK, make sure you click on the debt tab, so that will add the balance to the debt. Okay. Click OK now. Now let's click on the search the ticket. Now pull up the ticket again and see how it changes. If you see on the bottom of the ticket, now it reflects 100 as a cash payment, and the balance 62 is still pending as a credit. Now let's see, Tom comes up again another day and he wants to make this total payment of 62. So how does we carry on with that? Meaning, if he wants to pay the balance 62, in a sense, it's like he's making the entire 162 as a cash payment. So let's go back to the edit sales. Yeah, let's go back to the edit sales again. Click search, pull the ticket, and click on edit. Click is equal to. So as we know, he already paid 100 on this. Now he's going to pay 62. So as and when you pull up the old pending ticket, it's gonna show you 162 again. So let's go ahead and click OK on this. So it'll make a complete payment. Let's go back to the ticket number again. Pull the ticket. Check how does the change show now, right? Now you see this? Now it shows it's completely paid by cash. So come back to the customer screen. The customer debts, execute, it shows nothing because all the debts are cleared off. And also come to the customer's diary, and you can see the last of the customer's information on the payment. So this is how you could execute the credit payment by the customer. Now there's another scenario I just want to clarify you before we end this video session. A customer wants to buy something, maybe a random customer comes in, and you click is equal to, and he don't have the money, he want to go buy debt. When you click debt, you can see this button is not active because we haven't created the customer. So if you haven't created a customer, that will be a scenario where you don't have the OK button active. So in order to get this active, you have to create the customer, maybe customer number 7 with name Robert, and save. Okay, click OK now. Now we got Robert here, and we got automatically the maximum debt as 1000 because we already executed the SQL. So you can click OK because now you can see the OK button got activated because we have created the customer. Now there is another scenario. This OK will go inactive. That is when the total transaction is more than the allowed maximum debt. Let's see how it works. Now we have 1000 as a maximum debt for all the customer. Let's say this customer comes in and buys a lot of product, which sums up more than 1000. Okay, so let's go ahead and execute a debt transaction on this. For example, you just click on debt. You don't have money right now, you forgot the wallet or something like that, a rare scenario. So he's just gonna pay the entire amount. He's just gonna get the product on debt, and he promised to pay it later. So on this one, you can see it's not active because the customer is not created. So let's go ahead and create a customer, for example, A, and customer name is Sam. Click on save and click OK. So now it still shows inactive. You know why? Because it shows the customer surpasses the allowed debt, meaning the customer can take a product maximum debt of 1,000 bucks. So anything that crosses 1,000 bucks, you have to pay for that. Okay, that's when you set a limit for maximum debt, or the company sets up the maximum debt. So you gotta say to the customer that this is the maximum debt that we can provide. The balance 306 or 80, that has to be paid by the customer. So this is another scenario where the OK button gets inactivated. All right, that's when the total amount surpasses the allowed debt amount. Okay, now if you want to get a printout of the customer's debt transaction, let me just show you how to do that. Just go back here, go to the customers, click on customer diary, click on execute. These are the two customer information we have as of now. So if you just click on this print button, it could ask you for the printer information, and click OK. It's gonna execute the printout for you. Now, if you want to take a printout for individual customer, click on customer diary, execute. We have Robert and Tom. So for example, let's say we want to take a printout of Robert alone. So just go back, customers, customer diary, search for the customer Robert, hold the Robert information, execute. So we just get the Robert information right here. So you just go ahead and click on the print button, and that's it. You'll get the printout for the Robert's debt information, or the customer diary information for Robert. Okay, so that's how we handle the different customer debt scenario. Hope you guys have understood most of the scenarios on this video. Thank you so much for your time. For any other questions or scenarios, please do visit our website www.saleculator.com. Take care.